Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I've got a cute 3D project for you today, knowing that you probably have just the right amount of designer series paper to create it. And it's an adorable little gift package for friends and family, and it holds a hand sanitizer. Now, I did tweak the instructions a little bit from other projects that I've seen, and I'm going to give you two different closure ideas on today's project. If you're here visiting from YouTube, you're going to be able to find the pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies down in the description of this video below. There's a link for you, making it easy for you to navigate. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's project. We're going to start with doing some scoring. So I've got my Stampin' Trimmer here. There's a light blade for the scoring and there's a dark blade for the cutting. They stay on the track, which makes it super convenient, and they navigate out of the way, one to the top and then one here down at the bottom. The clear arm is wonderful to work with, so you can actually read dimensions on either side of the cutting strip. So we're going to do some scoring, and the first one is going to be at 2.5 inches. I'm going to use that ledge right here at the top to align my paper to make sure it's straight. I'm going to tell you too as a tip, if you have paper that has a direction to it, be very cognizant on which end that you start and how you cut it so that you don't have an inverted image on either the inside or the outside. So 2.5 inches, and then I'm going to score, and then I'm going to move over to 3.5 inches and I'm going to score. And then I'm going to move over to 6.5 inches. But look, here's the best part of the Stampin' Trimmer, is the extendable arm. And let me flip this over, you can see it really quick. You see this little leg right here? Well, this comes down, making this nice and stable. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this over, and we're going to go to 6.5 inches, which is right here, and it's well marked. It might be difficult to see in the video, but it's there. And then we're going to score again, and then 7.5 inches. So all my dimensions are really easy. And then 9 3/4, and then there's one more at 10 3/4. And then we'll score the last one. Try to resist creasing these up until we get to this next step. I'm going to be using the smallest layering circle oval. This is from an amazing package of dies. And you can see here that there are graduated sizes all the way from the small to the large. In addition to that, you're also going to get the scallops. And we're going to actually use both of these today on this project. I have my Big Shot here, and I'm a fan of the magnetic platform whenever I'm going to be using the metal dies. I find that it helps hold them in place. I'm going to put a clear cutting mat on the bottom to protect my platform. And then I've got my designer series paper here. Now I know this is going to be super hard to see in the video, but this is the smallest score line here. And what we're going to do is we are going to align this die here between that score line and the next one to create an opening to hold the hand sanitizer. So I'm going to lay this here, and I'm looking to align it top and bottom and side to side relatively so there's the same amount of space. I'll put another clear mat over the top, and then we're going to crank that through to create that opening. So we've got our die here. I'll just go ahead and push that to the back, and there we've got that opening. I'm going to fold it on those scored lines. And I'm going to be really careful here at this edge because of the opening. You're going to find that it's going to die cut very close to the edge. I've done numerous of these and I haven't had any issues at all with actually accomplishing it. Then go over it with your bone folder. 3D projects, it's really important that you use your bone folder to get those nice crisp edges. And I want you to make sure that you have your sides aligned. You know, as careful as we are, sometimes we're not able to make them perfect. So this is a good chance to kind of correct any unevenness. And then there's one more here. This is going to get attached here to make that little box to hold the sanitizer, and this will be the lid. I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet because you can see that this is a very narrow 1/4 inch area to provide your adhesive. The great thing about the silicone craft sheet is that adhesive will not stick to it. So any excess on here can rub right off, which is going to be wonderful for your stamping surface so you can keep it clean. So I'm going to concentrate this strip kind of half on and half off, making sure that I stay right inside the circumference of that scored line. And again, this is going to come right off, and you're going to be able to keep your work surface sticky free. The easiest way to do this is to fold this end under and align the edges on either side and then press down. It's a lot easier than trying to put it together in the air. And then gently open it up, and if you have any adhesive that's kind of on the inside, you can just kind of rub it out. You can see we've got our holder now. Just before the video, I went ahead and I die cut another oval from that exact same size that we used here. I'm going to use the Grapefruit Grove since that coordinates with the Designer Series paper, and I've mounted this flower that reminds me a lot of this one here. It comes from the stamp set Beautiful Bouquet. I'm loving the images. Now they appear very small on here, but you can see that this is a very large photopolymer stamp set with lots of images. It does have coordinating framelits. This has been carried over from the previous catalog, so it's not sold as a bundle. They are sold separately. These are the coordinating framelits, the Banquet Bunch framelits. Does all the work for you, cuts out all those images. There are some smaller greetings inside of the set to fit inside this little tag here, which we're going to use. I'm going to bring in just a small piece of scratch paper because I'm actually going to stamp off. I want to make sure that this is a little bit lighter. So I'm inking up my image. And I'm going to stamp off here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest and I'm going to stamp it right here on top of that oval. I wanted that flower to be light like the paper and not too strong. And then I've got my basic gray ink and I've got the words "for you." Look how tiny they are because this was intended to fit inside that die. That's the tag that we just talked about. So that's going to go here. I die cut the smallest scallop oval as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that over. I'm going to bring back in my silicone craft sheet. I really love this tool in my stamp room because I don't have to worry about getting adhesive on my grid sheets for all the multitude of projects I'll be creating. And then I'm just going to line that up, leaving a small border around it. This is going to get adhered to the front flap. I'm going to add adhesive to the back. Slide that off to the side. And then here I'm going to put it near the bottom in the center. This Designer Series paper is really nice and strong. It's from the Share What You Love Designer Series paper, and it's very abundant in that package. The patterns are beautiful. Whenever I'm making a 3D gift for Christmas, I try not to use a Christmas theme simply because I'm cognizant of the fact that they're going to be using it all year round. You're going to find this Designer Series paper and all the products I'm using in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're interested in purchasing Stampin' Up! Supplies, I would be more than happy to send you a complimentary copy of that as well as the holiday catalog. Just leave me a comment below. I also created a little tiny bow, and this is using the Calypso Coral Ombre ribbon. Isn't this pretty? I also die cut some sprigs using the framelits that I just showed you from the Bouquet Bunch. I'm going to add those to the back area behind the bow, but I know that I've got too much here, so I'm going to grab my paper snips and I'm going to cut away some of what I don't need. So I'm just going to cut that down. And then I'll do the same with this one. This I only need a little bit of. I've grabbed my glue dots and I'm going to add a glue dot down here at the bottom of my stem. I'm going to leave that here. Keep in mind when you're doing a 3D project, it's totally okay to have them extend past your project perimeter since it's not going to have to deal with an envelope. And then I've got my other little sprig here. I'm going to put my glue dot near at the bottom and I'll place that one here. And then of course our bow is going to get a glue dot as well. That's going to go here in the center. And then that's going to come here. We're ready to put in the sanitizer. This is from Bath & Body Works, so you can tweak this opening to use a punch or a different die depending on the type and the size of the cap of the one that you're using. So this just slips down inside. You can certainly add a glue dot here to the bottom and to the back to secure it inside if you'd like. But let's go ahead and add those magnets. These were made by Basic Gray once again. I was not able to purchase them in the store. I only found them online. I've just popped out one of each. My advice then is to take the two and let them stick together. This way you have proper alignment. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick pickup tool and I'm going to use the paper piercing attachment on the back to help me take off that paper backing. Then I'm going to come up here underneath the lid and I'm going to attach my magnet so that one side is sticky. Remember, they're together. Now what I'll do is I'll take off the other end of the paper backing from the negative side. And then all I have to do is now is to make sure that this is aligned because remember it's got tape on it, so you want to make sure you've got it exactly where you want it. So I'm looking to make sure that it's square. And then I'm going to press that in place. And then you can see here how easy this is to open and close. And if you're like me and you're going to be making a bunch of these for gifts this holiday season, you want quick. Now, I promised you another way, so if you don't want to purchase these, let me show you what I did here. On this one, I created the ribbon all the way through the inside, and then I tied it here. And then I added the glue dots right on top of the ribbon so that when I put my little band on there, it didn't stick to here. Then what I can do is I can slide this underneath the ribbon band to create the closure. And again, you can use glue dots to secure that down inside. So depending on which one you like with the ribbon closure, or if you like the one with the magnetic closure, I've got 2 different options for you using this beautiful designer series paper. If you've enjoyed today's video, please like it by giving it a thumbs up. It makes YouTube and I really happy. And if you would, subscribe so that you don't miss anything that I'll be sharing in the upcoming videos. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.